If you are a business owner, you've probably been told the same exact thing all over again. Post on YouTube every week and the clients will come. So you do it. You stay consistent, you post, you wait, and you sign basically nobody. It's not your camera, it's not your editing, and it's not how often you post. You're just playing the wrong game. So in this video, I'm going to show you the right one. The full system, the full strategy, how to get clients from YouTube. From A to Z, no fluff. Now before we move on, who am I to talk about this? I'm Adam, and for the past 2 years, I've been working for one of the agencies out there that totally crushes when it comes down to YouTube, and I even had my own YouTube channel in which I've managed to go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in like 3 months. And basically I decided to go for my own, and now my mission is to help agency owners, coaches and consultants scale their business without relying on cold outreach and the referrals, using YouTube as a sales system. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so first things first, I want to talk about like the core thing, and this is a mindset, because what I see is that most business owners, they basically follow YouTube creator advice, but creators get paid per view, so their game is the volume and going viral. But you don't want to do that. Remember that you get paid per client, and that's a completely different game, because when you copy the creator style tactics, you attract the audience that will never buy from you, right? What you want to do is to target the right audience, your ideal buyers, which are obviously more likely to buy from you, and we're gonna talk about that later, so stay with me. So what I want you to remember is that you're not creator, you're not influencer, you are a business owner that happens to create content, and that's a big difference. So remember that views, likes, subscribers are vanity metrics. They feel good, but they don't pay you. So you don't need a big channel, because I see channels with like 500 subscribers that get clients and channels with like 50,000 subscribers that don't get any clients. And the difference, as I said, is the right audience, because you can have like small right audience and you can have like big and huge audience of random people basically, okay? And I want you to like understand one thing, and this is like go viral trap. Because what I see, I'm not talking about YouTube specifically right now, I'm talking about, content overall, is that, business owners think that they just need to like increase the volume, like just post everything every day, doing that just to go viral. And this is like a very big trap, because this creates brand awareness. And for more established brands like 7, 8 or 9 figures, it works. But for you, like 5 or 6 figure business owner, what you want to do is to, for now, only attract a small bunch of people that actually want to buy from you. And YouTube right now is the best platform for doing that, because it's not a classic social media platform that you have to feed daily. It's a search engine, and also if it's well done, it can be a compounding asset, because posts don't die within 24 hours. On YouTube, you can actually produce evergreen videos, which are videos that you post today and can bring you clients years from now. Also, there's a pretty common rule that I guess you already know, which is 7-11-4 rule, which basically tells us that in a high-ticket sales, a customer needs 7 hours of interaction with you across 11 touch points in 4 locations. And like one 10-minute video is like 10 minutes toward that 7 hours, right? And the library of 10 to 15 videos, it's basically like hours of trust built for you automatically. And you need way fewer videos than you think. I'll give you the exact number in a minute. But once we have our mindset, then now I want you to introduce another very important foundation that without doing it right, then your whole channel is basically a complete mess. And this is the positioning, your unique angle, the messaging, and the narration that your channel has. So positioning is how your audience mentally categorizes you at the moment they land on your channel. Your unique angle is the specific point of view, the story or mechanism that makes the positioning impossible to copy. To define it, we pin down 3 things. So this is your story. Think about why and how did you get into your space, what triggered the switch, and what problem did you face. And this is the raw material for everything later. Then we have controversy. So think about some belief that you have that most people in your space don't agree with. This is what makes your channel interesting. And then third, we have unique mechanism. This is the specific method, system, or approach that you have and that makes you stand out, because this is the reason why people should buy from you, not from your competitors. And now I want to show you your channel narrative formula, and you don't want to make it complicated. Like every channel needs like one line purpose. It can be something like, I'm on a mission to help ICP achieve transformation without the painful way, using the unique mechanism. For example, I help agency owners, coaches, and consultants get clients without relying on cold outreach and referrals, using YouTube as a sales system. But also, to put everything together, you need to create an attractive character, because people don't follow the content. They follow people they find interesting and can root for. In competitive market, you don't win with better case studies. You win being relatable, specific character whose journey the viewer can see themselves in. That's what makes them come back to see what happens next. And you can manifest that into your channel simply by saying something like, I'm doing the channel's mission because the trigger or origin story. So once we have the positioning, then another important foundation is your ICP. And here you need to have brutal clarity on your ICP, because the whole point of your channel is to solve your ideal client problems, right? And this is where your trust and your authority is built. So we need more than a vague persona. We need a 100% clarity. And I guess you as the business owner already have your ICP document, but here I want to show you what is crucial from your ideal client profile for your YouTube channel. So the exact problem they're facing and what keeps them up at 2 a.m. Their situation, age, job, business stage, the desired outcome or transformation, their biggest objections to buy, the exact words and phrases they use to describe all of those above. And the last, the well-known people, books and tools your ICP follows, reads or uses. So I recommend you to create a document in which you gather all of the fundamental information you need for your YouTube channel. And there I would take care of 3 things. So first, the audience, and those will be all of the information about your RCP that I just covered. And then the second thing here is your offer. So here answer questions like, what did the client actually receive? What is my unique mechanism? What is the transformation it delivers? What is the price point and funnel stage it sits in? And then the third thing is the bridge. And here just simply ask for every video idea, how does this lead to the offer? Because remember that every video should actually lead to your offer, right? But I'm also gonna talk about this later in terms of how to use CTA and stuff like that. Okay, and the last thing that you need to take care of before you put the camera on is your niche and competitors analysis. And the best way to approach this is to basically list 5 competitors and just type what your ICP would search. Then you go through the challenge that pops up, and the goal here is to not to copy them, but it's about finding the gaps and owning them. And to better understand and analyze your competitors, you can ask yourself these questions. Do they have a funnel, and where do their videos point? I'm gonna talk about the funnel in a second, so don't worry. What's their publishing schedule? Are they actually consistent? What are their 2 to 3 content pillars, which are the core topics that define the brand? What formats do they use? Talking heads, screen share, storytelling? Does the channel look like a brand or just like bunch of random videos? Does the channel as a whole tell a story? Are their videos packaged well? I mean, thumbnails and titles? So you want to create a clear map of what's working and what's not, and then find a specific gap you can step into. You know, borrow proven formats, keep their mistakes, and position in the open space. Because remember, you never clone competitor word for word. Okay, so what do we have so far? To understand what mindset you should have, then I showed you 3 core foundations of your channel, which is positioning, your ideal client profile, and your niche analysis. Now we can move straight into content. What content to create, what funnel to follow. I'm gonna talk a bit about customer journey, content types, video structure, all of it. So let's start from the customer journey. When it comes down to customer journey, you have all of those stages, but you can actually divide everything into 2 stages. I should maybe not say stages, but areas. So you have this triangle, right? And you have like this huge area, which is like 95% of the entire market. And those are people who are not ready to buy yet, right? Those are people in all of those market awareness stages, right? So those are unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware. But then you have this small area, which is like 5% of the entire market. And those are people who are already ready to buy. And once we know that, then we can move on to the funnel, because we create our funnel based on this quick concept that I just shared you about customer journey. And now you don't need any complicated funnels. All you need to is this 3-layer funnel that covers 3 types of videos that you need to create. So first we have top of the funnel, and those are the discover videos. And those are the videos that targets basically people in those first stages of market awareness, and their job is to attract as many right people. I repeat, the right people, okay? Because we don't want some random people. Their job is to attract as many people as possible. Those are people who are like problem aware, maybe unaware, and they're actively searching for a solution. Then we have the middle of the funnel, and those are the authority videos. Their job is to solve some specific problems, to prove the method you're using, to show your unique mechanism, and to build as much trust and authority as possible. They are for people who are solution aware, and they are just basically comparing the options. And as I said, here you show you specific frameworks, methods, and stuff like that. Then at the bottom of the funnel, we have nurturing content. Their job is to remove a last doubt and show people a little bit more proof before they buy. Those are for people who are ready to decide, and as I said, needs a little bit more proof before they buy. And once we have that funnel, those are optimal proportions between those 3 layers. 50% of your content should be discovery, then 30% authority, and ideally 20% nurturing. Now, just to give you some examples, here's how it looks in YouTube for Business space. So discovery video could be like, why your outbound strategy isn't working and what to do instead. This is highly searchable, speaks to pain, and doesn't pitch the solution yet. Then for the authority, it can be something like the YouTube client acquisition system, our proven framework, shows the methodology and intellectual property. And just to be honest, this video is a good example for authoritative video. And then for nurturing, you can do something like how client's name made 15K from just 2 YouTube videos. So you show real name, real numbers, and real transformations. So nurturing content, those are basically client interviews and client case studies. The best way is to grab all of your client interviews, post them on YouTube, and create a whole playlist so that when your ideal clients comes to your channel and they see the first playlist and they already see all of the results, so this is what you want to do, right? And you don't need 50 on 100 videos to get some clients. Here are the numbers that actually can move a needle. So for discovery, you need like 4 to 5 videos to bring the right people in. Then authority videos, you need like 2 to 3 to build authority and trust. And nurturing, you need to like 1 to 2 to remove doubt and convert, which in total equals 8 to 12 videos for system to start working. But keep in mind that the customer journey on YouTube isn't linear, because a lead can meet you after watching your authority video first, and then they see a nurturing video, and then at the end they see a discovery video. But it doesn't really matter, because as they watch few of your videos, they are already pre-sold, and on a sales call, they don't ask why should I hire you, but more like how do we start and how does it cost? So that's a huge leverage that YouTube does. It basically brings you quite a few leads on a sales call, so the sales call becomes way easier, right? The content types you want to create, those are basically educational videos, and education videos are both discovery videos and authority videos. The next content type is client interviews and case studies for nurturing videos, and then one extra content type that you might want to create, but you don't have to. Those are short form videos. But remember, just to like from the algorithm perspective, it's not always a good way to push short form content, because you know, if your shorts are going viral, then it just like confuses the algorithm, because people who watch your short form content don't want to like watch your long form content. But the good way to approach this is to basically select the best fragments from your long form videos and turn them into a short form using tools like Opus AI, and it will be completely enough for you, okay? And now for educational content, you need to follow a simple structure that increases engagement and the chances that the views actually convert into clients. So first, you want to have a hook. Name the problem and hit the point directly. You can actually use 3 types of hook. You have pain-based, result-based, and contrarian-based, but that's a topic for another video. What hook does, it basically, as the name suggests, hooks the viewers and makes sure people actually want to watch further. And after the hook, you want to have a credibility bridge in which you quickly introduce yourself and say why should you even listen to you. Ideally, you want to show some proof that your methodology or what you are going to show you in the video actually works. Then you have the body, where you basically solve the problem and deliver real value. And at the end, you have your call to action. And here you want to create a void. Surface the problem that you hit after solving this one, and then position yourself as a full solution. For client interviews, the structure looks like this. Firstly, you want to ask your client what was before they found you. Let the client describe their situation and the problems they faced before they met you. Then the turning point. Ask them why they decided to work with you and what objections they had to overcome. Next, transformation. So ask them what's changed, the milestones they achieved. Basically your process told through mouths of your clients. And then at the end, obviously, the CTA. So to system to work, it needs a fuel, right? And the fuel for that system are your videos. I basically think that 1 video per week is the most optimal volume of uploaded videos, because you know, doing like less, like for example 1 video per 2 weeks or 1 video per month, it just not, you know, you don't build any momentum and the algorithm don't take you seriously. But you know, doing more, obviously you can do more, and if you can doing more, then 2 or 3 videos per week is also a good option. But you know, remember that it's more about doing 1 good, right and valuable video rather than, you know, like just 3 shitty videos. And you know, let's be honest, you're not an influencer, you're a business owner, as I told you at the beginning. So if you have a capacity to do 2 or 3 videos per week, then cool, then do it. But always make sure they are all valuable and not generic, because remember that nowadays people are sick and tired of all of that AI generated stuff, and they want to like real value, some different angles and stuff like that that comes with your experience. And also, very important thing is to stay consistent, and you probably know it. If you actually want to do YouTube, you need to take it seriously and be consistent through the months and years. Because posting, for example, 8 videos and then disappearing for 6 months kills momentum. The compounding only works when the cadence holds. Okay, so as we talk about our mindset, our 3 core foundations, and our content engine, now it's time for the actual workflow. Now this is kind of topic for another video, because in this video I just want to show you like the full complete strategy how you can attract clients from YouTube, not specifically the execution. So if you want to video about how to actually do YouTube on a daily basis, what process to follow, how to do the right things, so just let me know down in the comments if you want to do such a video. Because when it comes down to workflow, the actual execution, you need to take care of a few things. Ideation and research, you need to constantly come up with new video ideas which are relevant and speaks to your ideal buyer problems. And there are a few ways how you can approach this. Then you also want to like come up with some basic planning of your videos. I recommend here create some video calendar, content calendar, name it. Actually, I've built one, so if you are interested, then comment down below and I'll send you a link to a very simple content calendar that tells you at what stage is your current video that you're doing and tells you what videos you should record next. Then after planning, you have to create scripts for your videos, and here's where you are allowed to use some AI, because let's be honest, AI is very useful at this stage, but also you need to remember just to not make them 100% AI, because you know no one wants to watch robotic generic content. Actually, I made a video recently about how you can use AI to write your scripts without being generic. So you can watch this here. I'm basically breaking down how you can do it using some good prompts in Claude, so definitely need to check it out. And then after you write a script, then you need to actually record this. And here is where most business owners also fail, because they think they need to look professional and they are, you know, overthinking about the gear. But in fact, what you need is just basically some $10 tripod, your phone, and maybe some $100 microphone. I recommend DJI Mic Mini. This is the mic that I'm using, so and it's very good and it's cheap. You also need some lighting, but you know, you can like actually use some desk lamp actually, which I'm currently using, to be honest. But also you can like find some cheap soft boxes or something like that, so that's also no problem. And that's it. That's totally it when it comes down to creating on YouTube. You don't need any Sony Alpha camera, you don't need any Shure microphone, you don't need any teleprompter. Actually, that's it. And yeah, and you're good to go. Then also what you need to take care of is video editing, and here I recommend you to hire some video editor, because at the end of the day you're a business owner, you're not an editor, and this is the part it takes the most time in this whole YouTube process. So that's I would say the first thing that you need to outsource when it comes to doing YouTube. Then also after editing, you have your packaging, so the thumbnails and titles, and also here you can like do thumbnails on your own in Canva, for example, but if you have a possibility, I would also suggest to outsource. Then also you need to have some repurposing system on place, because you know YouTube videos are actually on the top of repurposing ladder. So from one long form video you can create a lot of different content for LinkedIn, for newsletter, for short form content, all of that. So also you need to have some repurposing system, and then on top of whole YouTube production process, you need to analyze your channel on a weekly or monthly basis, you know, analyzing what topics performed well, and then based off of that create more videos like that, just from the different angles. But as I said, here I showed you a YouTube process just on a surface level. So if you need a concrete video about what workflow to use when you're creating your YouTube videos and whole YouTube process in depth, then just comment down below. But now let's move on to the most important part that you're probably the more interested in, and this is the conversion mechanism. So how to actually use YouTube and make sure it converts viewers into paying clients. And here are a few rules and concepts that you need to use, which are pretty simple, because the thing is that you don't want to overcomplicate everything, because the key here is to actually target right people and then create valuable videos. So the concept of selling on YouTube is pretty straightforward. You have your video which solves some specific problem your ICP faces, and then every video should lead somewhere, right? And it can lead to two things. First is your actual offer, so the link to book a call with you. And then the second thing it should lead to kind of like extend the customer journey and kind of like to soften the friction is basically some lead magnet. And the best lead magnet that you can have is basically your newsletter. That's obviously the most common one, but you can also have another lead magnets. It depends on your offer and what you have already in place. But email list is kind of like the best option you can have. And I'll explain why in a second. And the reason you have two paths your viewer can go, because you know, you have this spectrum of how the lead is warmed. YouTube viewers can actually be on the both sides of the spectrum. So some lead can be pretty warm and they can actually book directly call with you, but a lot of them are not ready yet. You need to have one more stage before they buy from you, and the lead magnet is perfect for that because he's the flywheel, right? Firstly, the prospect discover you on YouTube, they consume your content, but they are maybe not ready to buy from you yet. So what they see is they link to your newsletter where you provide free resources for them, and the email list is very good because this is the asset that you actually own. Because, you know, posting on YouTube or any other social media, for example, your account can be banned and then you basically lose your whole client acquisition channel. But email list is something that no one can take away from you, right? This is your asset, which you are 100% in control. So in this newsletter, you nurture your viewers with consistent value, as well as you do this on YouTube at the same time. So you create a relationship, which creates a lot of trust in your niche. And basically after all of that, your offer becomes kind of like a natural next step, right? And then eventually people buy from you. Also in the newsletter, you can create like this loop where you also link your YouTube videos. So So people actually read your emails and then they go straight to your YouTube video. So it creates kind of like this closed loop, right? And then also you need to remember that you need to have call to actions everywhere, okay? So go for 1 to 2 CTAs in a video, where one soft CTA is somewhere at the beginning and then one strong at the end. Also, you need to have CTAs as the first link in the video description, as well as first link in a channel description, so that it is everywhere, it is well seen, so that it becomes easier for people to actually click on that link. So you just need to be visible anywhere, right? So yes, YouTube is a long-term game. It actually takes months to see real results. So this is why most business owners fail, because they posted a few videos and gave up. The trade-off is that it is self-compounding. If you stay consistent and you have a right strategy in place, you slowly build an asset that works 24/7, brings qualified leads, and makes sales calls dramatically easier because the prospect already trusts you. So if you're an agency owner, coach, or consultant who is serious about building an asset for your business that in a long perspective can help scale your business, and you want someone to take care of all the heavy lifting when it comes down to YouTube, so the guidance across the whole YouTube production process, professional video editing and thumbnail design, consistent feedback on what's working and what's not, then there's a link below. You can book a call with me in which we will see if we are a right fit. I'd love to hear more information about your business and see how we can help you. And by the end of the call, prepare you a free strategy for your business that you can basically apply immediately for your YouTube channel. So as I said, there's a link below, but if you're not ready yet, you can watch this video in which my business partner explains what you can lose as a business owner if you don't have a YouTube presence. Thanks for watching.